Okay, hey. Good evening. Welcome. Dark Sayings, Pete. I know it's been a minute. Listen, this is the kind of video every creator dreads having to make. I started on this journey 12 years ago now, creating content with the endeavor to be unbiased and to do my due diligence with the belief that this content, when treated with the respect it deserves, can stand on its own without sensationalism, without resorting to outright malarkey and chicanery. Now, it has come to my attention that there have been several anonymous and unfounded allegations regarding my personal involvement in wizardry. And I must say unequivocally, I am not now, nor ever will be, a sorcerer. The accusations of necromancy and soothsaying are completely baseless. I have done no divinations, no mesmerisms. This is not who I am, folks. Now, look, I know the evidence doesn't look good. Yes, I will admit, I own a number of grimoires. Yes, I do have several ritual tools that would be associated with the esoteric, and a library of some of the great thinkers who have been fundamental in these areas of study and research. In the past, I have been known to associate with not only Wiccans, but Freemasons and Rosicrucians. And my own work here has received such criticisms. Early on, I heard many accusations regarding my excessive use of hand gestures when I speak, that I was sending secret signals, hand signs, to the secret societies. And this is completely unfounded, sir. Completely unfounded. Additionally, some have said that I generate my topics by mind reading their thoughts. And this is not the case. These topics I cover, I generate on my own. Now, look, I can explain. I have always had a unique fascination with the unusual. The things just out of step with the norm. Now, I'm a weirdo. I don't own any leather masks or anything like that. But I do think it's interesting that there might be Sasquatch in the woods. I don't deny that occasionally I glance towards the sky in the hope of capturing the glimpse of an unidentified flying object. I have read a book or two regarding spectral encounters. Yes, these are all true. These are all true things. Dana the Powerful, now the allegations of sex magic, just because the sex is magical doesn't mean I've incorporated magic. Now, look, I'm not going to apologize for who I am. In anything, I will double down. And while I may know plenty of book about drawing circles on the ground in the basement, lighting candles, and doing other kinds of stuff with olive oil, That's just not me. I'm no more a wizard than a football fan is a quarterback. I am an armchair occultist, if you could even call me that. I am no means a practitioner, though I do believe in the efficacy of the mystical practices. Although, I must say, according to my own personal beliefs, I find these things to be alluring yet foreboding. It is not for man to undertake powers to alter reality to his own whims. These powers are strictly relegated to the divine. Now, look, I'm not here to tell you how to live. All right, I might have my own particular beliefs and such, but I think one of the problems we have in this day and age is everybody thinks they know best. And I learned a long, long time ago that the only thing I do know is nothing. For I'm a speck of dust in a grand cosmos. Let's face the facts, people. There's more than meets the eye to our strange world. And just because I ask the questions does not mean I am embroiled in the mystical arts. Now, that being said, I felt it important to set the record straight. Now, I will say, throughout the years, I have delved into the work of many of the greats, your Manly P. Halls, your Israel Regardis. I appeared into the secret doctrine of Helena P. Blavatsky, a tough read if ever there was one. Have I rubbed elbows with the Ascended Masters? Maybe, but only in a literal sense. A literary sense, that is. No automatic writing happening over here. Now look, perhaps I yearn for the visions of Zosimos. And there are times I desire to be as clever as Obsethus the Libyan, or to go down in the annals of history like Apollonius of Tyana. But such may not be the case, for many few of us are remembered down through the great volumes of history. But should that be the case, should the world remember me generations from now, they will not be counting me among the wizards, for I am not one. I will now take your questions. All right, where are we at? Fedora the Horrible, long time friend of the channel, personal friend of mine. Fedora, good to see you, my man. Making great strides in life lately. Must say, the last year seemed to be very good to you, Fed, and we're very proud to know you. You've done great work out there. Now, Fedorable says, it's only magic if the Shmega is produced in the third equinox of Saturn's eye. That brings me to another topic of Saturn and the cube worship, but we're not going to get into all that tonight. The cult of the black cube is none of my business. Philip Blair, friend of the channel. How do you do, Philip Blair? Philip Blair points out that Buddhism has a story about a guy that did black magic. He regretted it. The great Mars what's that? Milar person, turquoise wizard wand. I think that might be an emoji, but it's not translating in what I'm looking at. Okay. Dana says, best Jesse Ventura impression. I'm just asking questions. You know what? I can't bring myself to that. I can't do it. I don't think I can do it well anymore. I'm so out of practice. I don't think I've seen the documents. Who's taken into the... now I'm getting into Randy Savage. I do a better Randy Savage than I do a Jesse Ventura, but Alas, poor Randy Savage was not an aficionado of the mystical world. I will say, I recently revisited an old podcast that I used to enjoy quite a bit. There was a particular episode regarding Tom DeLonge and his efforts in the realm of UFOs. And the host kept resorting to this Tom DeLonge impression that it was killing me. You know how that guy sings? It was like, where are you? You know, look at that stuff. Oh my God, they were killing it. It was very funny. Yeah, so good stuff, man. Oh, that was a good sign for music. All right. Gingerbread and Jesus, your chocolate chip pancakes covered in strawberry lemonade will save you from the Lovecraftian shoehorns. All right. Well, that's a good tip. That's a good tip. Good to see you live, Pete, says Mr. Mackey. Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Appreciate it. Good to see you as well. We got super chat coming in. Oh, thank you so much, Gingerbread and Jesus. Very kind of you. A Loke hole may have been out. Ginger, I'm having a tough time seeing what he's reading glasses. Let me get closer. Alcohol may have been involved. Gods love you, Pete. Thank you very much, Ginger Viking Jesus, for the $2 super chat. Much appreciation. Good to see everyone. I'm still alive, says Fedora the Horrible. Still just grinding, making a difference in real life, and still getting timeouts on social media. Yes, Fed, you're a bit of a rabble rouser there, Fedora the Horrible. A bit of a rabble rouser. Desperately in need of a haircut. I think I'm only getting fatter as well. We're working on it. Got a little wake-up call from the old doctor. Yeah, so I did. I will catch everybody up on what's really been going on here. I know it's been a minute. I've been around, and of course the holidays were an issue. As you all know, I'm a father, and I got the holiday stuff to do. So a lot of that was going on. I was working, here and there, as usual. But I caught a flu, and it was pretty rough. So I was kind of down and out for about a week. So that was no good. That was no good. That was just before the holidays. Or just after the holidays, I think. Yeah, it was just after the holidays. Like, it was legitimately like that week, like right going into New Year's. Because, it was rough. It was a rough flu. And like everybody I work with caught it. It was just really bad timing. So that was no good. Then lo and behold, I had a whole nother thing going on. Like, I really, to be God's honest, if you've all been paying attention, you've been with the channel for a while. I used to be a pretty svelte kind of guy, but I started doing this in my early 30s, I guess. It's been a while. And, I guess but after the lockdown days, I really kind of just stopped really paying attention to my health. There was a time when I was cranking out these videos that I got kind of chubby and I was mad at myself for it. If you go back to my, like a flying humanoids video from maybe 2015, 2016, I'm kind of plump. And I'm like sweating my whole way through the video. And I'm not, I was like, dude, I got to turn it around. So I had really endeavored to like drop the weight. And I did it. I lost about 60 pounds. I was back in my, like my normal, range of weight that I usually carried around most of my life. But yeah, I just been slacking, folks. I've been slacking. I was a guy who used to walk 7 miles a day, dude. Like I did a lot of walking. And I used to really crank out chin-ups a lot too. I used to eat a lot better, and I've kind of just really not really tended to that aspect of my existence. So going forward, I think I'm going to make 2026 the year of addressing the neglected aspects of my health that do need a little attention. And get a little wake up call. Thankfully, nothing serious, but still need to get some tests done, get everything all kind of squared away, but. Thankfully what occurred was not life-threatening, because even then I waited too long. Had it been life-threatening, the doctor pointed out, well, I don't think it's this because you're still alive after 4 days. So probably not that. We can rule that out. And I was like, oh, well, that's good to know, but that was right over Christmas. So I kind of waited. Anywho, big thing going forward is focusing on my health and with a couple setbacks through the month, I just kind of declared most of December a wash as far as getting content up. And, at the same time, I don't like being so inconsistent in general. And what I found is that I tend to create in like bursts and then recede for a while and then come back in bursts. And I don't like doing that because you don't really make any headway, So in that endeavor, in the background, I don't want you to think you guys have just been slacking around and like not doing anything. I have made a big push to get ahead. And to do that, I had to just stop. I had to stop and really focus on creating and getting research done and getting scripts written and plotting out where I wanted to take this in this coming year, at least for the next 3 months. So my original goal was to begin uploading again this coming Monday. And I just want to check the date on that. I think that would have been the 12th. Okay. So originally I was eyeballing the 12th to start uploading again. We were talking daily uploads. And, I said, all right, cool. We'll aim for the 12th. So I had ordered some new lighting. And I know this isn't necessarily holding up everything the way, I'm really making it hard on myself. But I ordered some new lighting. Something happened where the shipping got delayed. And then when it finally arrived, I had set aside this whole night for the purpose of filming. But when the lighting arrived, the lights were included, but not their stands. So I had to reorder the product, put in for the refund, all this good stuff. I don't even check the tracking on it yet because I'm locked down with work for the next few days. But I have produced 3 dozen scripts for short videos. I'm working on the intention. It has been I've been working on this since September, and I haven't been able to set aside the time for it. But there is, for those of you who are not aware, you might be new to the channel. You might have discovered this through the shorts. Dark Sayings is the tree that grew out of a root that was planted 12 years ago with a channel called The Creepy Little Book. And I don't even think I've mentioned that name since May of 2023. I haven't even uttered that, I don't think. But that's where we started. And there's a huge back catalog of videos that I made over the years, hundreds and hundreds of videos that if you maybe came along later, you might not have seen. They're all privated now. Now, the issue I have with these videos is that I always endeavored to produce evergreen content. I've never really jumped onto the fads very much. I don't really chase the headlines the way I probably should. But, I do address things that I think are pertinent. As you can see over the last few months, I was really on top of the 3 Eye Atlas stuff, but that turned out to be a big, letdown. So no Moon Men yet. Go figure. I will say I had intended to do a review of the Age of Disclosure because I did watch that on the 22nd of November, immediately after, the day after it was released. I got a chance to sit down and watch it. And I plan on doing a whole review, but I never considered to take notes while I was watching it. I just wanted to absorb the content, and I was watching it with my wife, who generally doesn't have any interest in that kind of stuff. But for that, for that afternoon, she's like, "Oh, I'll watch this with you." And her conclusion at the end of it, she found the whole idea kind of, unsettling, And I think it's the uncertainty that got me. And I'll give you a mini review of it now. Ultimately, the culmination that I got away from that, the documentary, was I had a new respect for Lou Elizondo, who admittedly I was completely wrong about. I think I was too quick to judge him as somebody who was looking to make a name for himself in this sphere and was, successful. And, to be honest, I'm a human being. Maybe there was a little bit of the green-eyed monster rearing its ugly head too, because I'm not above it. The truth be told, I tend to compare myself to people a lot. It's a bad habit. The comparison is a theft of joy, folks. So don't get caught in that habit at all. But I will say that I gained a newfound respect for Lou Elizondo. I didn't realize how much he really had to walk away from to roll the dice when letting people know this information. And look, the fact of the matter is nobody's becoming a millionaire off the UFO buck. I mean, maybe, somebody like Tsoukalos is living okay. But even somebody like Travis Walton, I'm sure he made a few bucks off the Fire in the Sky movie, but by no means was Travis Walton able to retire and live life high on the hog because a UFO got him. And I don't think that's in the cards for many of these guys. Yeah, like I said, sure there are guys that have definitely found a way to make a living off of this stuff, Look at somebody like Zach Baggins. Dude's got a museum, Josh Gates, he's the one with all the friggin' TV shows where he goes on adventures, right? And Tina, I think you told me about that guy. I don't know all these cable guys like I should. I don't know if he ever told you guys for this one before. But years ago, God, this was years ago. It had to be between 2017 and 2020. it was closer to 2020. So I want to say it started in maybe 2019. So around 2019, I made a video about the Nahanni Valley. It was the Headless Men, the Valley of the Headless Men. Now, I'm sure if you go on now, you'll find all these channels that started many years after I did talking about it. But, at the time, there was really only a couple videos on the platform that had mentioned it. And mine was, I'd say, pretty decent compared to the content it was up against at that time. We were talking years ago. And lo and behold, I get a lot of crazy emails, but this one was from a production company up in Canada. And at first, I didn't think this was real. But I was corresponding with them, back and forth. And they had this producer talking to me. And as much as I was dubious about the whole thing, after I kind of, had a few conversations and fleshed out all the info, I looked into it. It was all real. And they were involved in producing some real TV shows. I mean, not just flash in the pan stuff. Like, they were out there making things happen. And they had approached me because they were Canadian and this Nahanni Valley stuff's up in Canada. And I think the original idea was to produce a show on location, researching the myths of the Nahanni Valley. Because they were really first focused on, did I have camping experience? Did I have any, outdoor experience, stuff like that. Then the idea evolved a few times over the course of a few months. And eventually they decided they wanted to shoot a sizzle reel. So they had contacted me, and I met up with their film crew who came down to do, some footage. They wanted to film some footage with me. They had secured a private, I guess, hour or two at Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, which, if you guys don't know, is a fortress of a prison. It is very old. It was built by the Quakers. It was kind of the first prison that was focused on reforming and not just punishment. And their idea of reform was very unique. But I mean, we're talking old, a couple of 100 years now. So a lot of solitary confinement. The whole thing was built circularly, and there was it's like wherever you stood, you could see down every hallway or something like that. It's very interesting. But it housed a lot of inmates in there, and the most famous of which was probably Al Capone. And his cell is still decorated the way it was when he was a resident at the prison. And compared to every one of these are tiny stone cells meant to house one prisoner with a little 4-inch slot for a window to let some sunlight in. When they would move these prisoners around this prison back when it was an operation, they bagged them. They put a bag over their head so they didn't even see each other. It was very, very controlled, very, very rigid. So, the Al Capone thing was crazy too. It had a radio in there, a couch and a sofa. It was really done up. It was the lap of luxury because he had everybody paid off. I think they pinched him on his way back from Atlantic City or some shit like that. But so, yeah, we did a couple hours in the prison, and they had brought a psychic along for me to interview in the prison to get her idea of what was going on and stuff like this. So we did some of that. We visited the Cave of Kelpius, which is also located in Philadelphia. Kelpius was a monk who led a cult, an end times cult, doomsday cult, I guess, to Philadelphia in the 1690s. And he was an alchemist, and these guys were waiting for the end of the world. But his cave where he practiced alchemy still exists. It's in the park system. It's still down there. And I had already done videos on this subject on a previous channel called Yellow Cube with my partner Greg at that time. And we went down and filmed video at the cave. And there's a Rosicrucian monument outside of it. The Rosicrucians, Amorc put a monument up there in the 60s. It features the Egyptian Ma'at is on there. There's some above, below, as above, so below symbolism on it as well. And it's dedicated to Johannes Kelpius, who was considered the first Rosicrucian magister in the New World. So we did that. And then we visited the Laurel Hill Cemetery. And for those of you who are not from the Philadelphia area, obviously, if I'm mentioning this place so much, I might have a connection to it. Born and raised, folks, born and raised. I'm so freaking old at this point that I'm old enough to actually have been born in city limits, because I think currently there is not a single maternity ward within the borders of the city of Philadelphia. I think you have to go somewhere else out into the the suburbs of Pennsylvania there to deliver your baby. But yeah, I was born in a hospital under the L train way back in the late 70s. So yeah, million years old over here. I feel great. I feel great. A little gray in my stash, little crow's feet around the old eyes, little sciatica, getting them old man problems. You know what's weird is like I'm at this age where like if you are in your 60s, I'm a young man. But if you are in your 30s, I'm ancient. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird age. I'm old to a young man and young to an old man. I just wish that I didn't feel like a train wreck when I got up in the morning. Anywho, I digress. Yeah, let me go back into the chat here. I see some interesting comments. Let me get in there. I'm gonna go back up here. Oh, yeah, Tina. Let me get that. I am so sorry, Tina. I forgot to totally do this. I'm hoping I can still find it in here. Excuse me. Oh, I found it. Okay. We replace that. We are going to open. Oh no, this is the one I want. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Unpin, and then I want to put this one in. Pin. There we go. Okay, I think that's right now. Yeah. Okay, cool. So listen, folks. I just want to mention this at the top of the chat here. I did put a. Well, Tina put it in the chat. I pinned it up at the top of the chat. There's a link to the Discord. So let me get caught up with the chat again. So there's a link to the Discord. I just want to get, when we are done here, when we wrap up here at the live stream, if you are so inclined, I am going to pop into the Discord voice chat. If you are interested in hanging out with me and Tina afterwards, we're going to do a little window shopping and discuss some redecorating I would like to do for my my office here and some of the background stuff. And if you'd like to come brainstorm some ideas with us, what I'll do is meet me in the Discord. I will provide you a StreamYard link because I do like the way that functions a little better. You don't need to download anything or any of that stuff. But if you'd like to meet me in the Discord, and then we'll move it on over to StreamYards from there. I just kind of want to get an idea because I can have up to 10 people in a private StreamYards. We will not be broadcasting. It'll be a private thing, but I can share screens. We can brainstorm ideas. I can pick your brain too, what you think might look interesting. I want to shake it up a bit. I want to shake it up for 2026. Do a little redecorating. I've got a good head start on some content. New lights are coming in. I'm going to film. I believe Monday night. I'm looking towards filming. That'll be the 12th, I believe. Is that correct? Is it the 12th? Monday night, yes. Monday night's the 12th. So I had originally intended to start posting again on the 12th. I then tentatively moved that back to the 19th. But I'll be God's honest with you, folks. Now that I have, I've gotten a little farther ahead than I planned to at this point, at least with producing the scripts. And the filming, I mean, that's really the piece of cake part. Like, legitimately, it's very easy for me to do the actual filming, provided it's nighttime, my family's asleep, and the world shuts up outside. That's not a problem. So I imagine I'll be able to knock out all these things over the course of maybe a day or two, and then I'll get into the editing process. So I may hold off completely until the 1st of February. We're going to look at it. So I might take 2 more weeks to just keep grinding and grinding and grinding so that I can get far enough ahead to produce the kind of stuff I've wanted to work on for a while. I really just want to be consistent with the daily shorts. And I'd love to be able to post one more long form video that is prepared at least twice a month about a deep dive into a specific topic, and whether that is the way topics are interconnected. I might even do some kind of episodic series, maybe a grand unified attempt to do some kind of grand unified theory, tracing these kind of topics from their earliest roots, getting into things like the Prisca Theologia, maybe the initial contact between human and divine in the ancient days, and how that influenced stuff going forward. The growth of the secret societies from the ashes of history, and the influence of supernatural or extraterrestrial forces on our world. I mean, we could really get into something juicy like that. But to actually get myself into a place where I can focus on doing that, I need to get way ahead. So I do ask if you don't mind being patient with me going forward. I will most assuredly not let you down. This time I am very focused and I know exactly where I want to head with this stuff. I will say that I think it was around 2016. My first child comes along. And then in 2018, my second. So to be absolutely truthful, I started this in 2014. And then, 2 years in, like that Christmas of like 2016, I was killing it, man. We were making some pretty gangbuster videos. And my son was born that summer. And then it's just the time it gets away from you. So here I am, 9 years down the road. I never really quit, but I will say there was definitely a slump. And there's definitely been some inconsistency. So I finally feel we're in a place where I can really commit to this the way I want to and really produce on a schedule I can maintain and it's consistent enough that you won't lose interest. So so we're trying something new. And like I said, tentatively I was looking at the 19th, but if we're going to be realistic, I would love to take the rest of the month and just go for it so that we don't have any hiccups going forward. Because when I hit the ground, I just want to keep running. I do not want to lose the momentum once I get started. So still moving parts going on, but in the background, I am relentlessly creating. The next thing I gotta get on is doing a lot of the artwork for the for these videos. But again, that's all plotted out and stuff that I can do on like piecemeal if I really focus over the next few weeks. I do have a couple long forms that I already filmed. But they've been sitting in the can since like October. They are they just, I don't think I could pull them out, but I kind of want to see if there's updated information now before I even do that. Because I don't want them to be dated. Again, I'd set for evergreen. And these I don't think any reason these would be particularly dated or anything, but I just think I want to take another crack at it, especially because I'll tell you predominantly why. Because one of them that I filmed in October was just done by one of the biggest channels in this sphere. I mean, like last week. And I'm like, dude, what? Like now I can't go and upload it right now because it's going to look like I got the idea from this guy. But yeah, so coming forward in 2026, we're looking to be very consistent with the daily videos. And I don't mean taking a day off for the weekends or the holidays here or there. The daily videos, like I really want to get done, uploaded, and scheduled to drop every day at a certain time, so I ain't got to think about it. The longer form videos, I really wanted to dive into topics in a new way, and I've found some interesting angles lately that I would have never considered in the past. So those things I'm going to work on at least 2 a month, maybe something up to like 20 minutes to a half hour long, a little more long form, a little more deep dive. I'm not going to promise you they're going to be filled with tons of B-roll and music and interesting stuff like that, but I will give you a lot of fun information, and hopefully I'll deliver it in a succinct and entertaining way, So we'll have that going on as well. But again, I don't know. I'm just kind of ranting or even right now, Hey, that's what I'm doing. Okay. I do want to catch up on the chat here. I apologize. I'm kind of politicking. Yesterday was Elvis's birthday, says Philip Blair 20. He'd be 91 if he were still alive today. Well, he probably got taken away by the moon man, and now he's living on Alpha Centauri. Fed's pointing out I'm getting old. You can see the light ring in the glasses. Yeah, I got 2 light rings, dude. There's one here and there's one there. I don't have the fancy glasses where I can't get rid of the light ring, dude. I can't see. Well, actually, I can kind of see this a little better when it's like that. I wonder if it's gonna pop out. Oh, wait, what's this? What's that do? I don't think that did anything. Oh, no, this shows them on there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't know what that's about. Nah. Okay. I don't know. Deranged Lunatic. Oh, yes. The Creepy Little Book. I love that book, says Dana the Powerful. Tom Tom's 404. I still have some cool, creepy little book shirts. Resist the Reptilians is my fave. You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Tom Tom's. I do want to do some new merch. And in the past, I've kind of like I've overdone it. So what we're gonna do, I think, going forward, is maybe we'll alternate. I think that what we'll do is I might release a design. Let's say I release a design for February. What I think I'll do is let that design run for a limited time. Let's say 10 days. You'll have a 10-day window to purchase whatever the product is on. I probably be a shirt. There'll probably be a shirt, a sticker, and then something else innocuous that you could use. But you have 10 days to get it. And after that, it'll be gone forever. And I think we'll do that going forward. And I may even have some kind of like maybe we'll do some kind of contest to like get your design on there, something like that. If you're interested in entering that, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. You take your ideas or whatever. I don't want to be yawning. Let me get a little beverage on here. I've been talking quite a bit. All right. Ooh. Elder Groom, creepy little book equals Pocket Necronomicon. No, it was the name of the old channel was really a comment that somebody made to me when I was bartending. It was a chef. I've been friends with him for years. He even before the job. And I was at the bar one time, and I used to carry this. I don't know if it's sitting around here on the desk. It's not. It usually is, but I have this leather-bound notebook, and I put moleskins in it, the little lined ruled notebooks, right? And they're like, I don't know, 4. It's like, I don't know, it's 4 inches by like 4 inches. It's a very little thing. Fits in your pocket. Looks like a wallet, honestly. It looks like a wallet, but there's a little, notebook in it. And for years, I carried this around whenever I have an idea or something comes to mind that I want to remember. I would jot it down. And the chef friend of mine, he sees me writing in it, and he said, "You better not be writing shit about me in your creepy little book," And I was like, "Oh shit, that's great. I'll call the channel that," because I couldn't think of a good name. And what happened, and I'll tell you the big reason I did the rebrand and change the channel name and everything else was not because I wanted to just sour the brand, but I think it was because I predominantly started seeing instances where my videos would end and every recommended video was meant for a toddler. They were like toy videos and stuff like this, that, and the other. So what was happening was at some point when the censorship really got underway, because we all know in the last 10 years, the nuts went crazy and they started censoring everybody left and right. And they, even the government was in on it. We know that now. They were putting pressure on the major tech platforms to censor things. So, there was a time when I would wake up every morning expecting my channel to be deleted. And the stress of this was unbelievable because you spend so much time working on and building something. I know it seems superficial, but if it's something you work on and something you've dedicated a lot of time to, you can probably understand the frustration of living in this state of constant stress that everything you work for can just vanish. So I'll be honest, I did a lot of self-censoring. I walked on eggshells. I covered bullshit topics. And, it's a change now. Things are different again. But somehow I survived all the channels that got deleted. I mean, even some like pretty simple Bigfoot channels didn't even survive that kind of stuff. The adpocalypses, the censorship, this, that, and the other. And, I'm still around. So thankfully there's that. But I know I couldn't stay around in the same form anymore. They were just, they were just lumping my channel with Halloween content for kids, man. Like, it was like, it was just like everything was relating back to Halloween content for children. And that's not what it was meant to be. And that's not who I am. And like, this stuff is not like, it's not even prepared in a way where I'm using a cadence or a vocabulary that would even appeal to children. It's really like we're talking about some heady stuff sometimes. So yeah, I'm still around, but it's not what it was, and it's got to be something new, and that's what it's all about. All right, I gotta pop these back. I can't see none. All right. Life happened, Pete. Still love you. Thank you, Dana the Powerful. Elvis ain't dead. He just went home. Kay said it. So thank you there, Junior. Can see the nose hairs now, says Fedorable. Yeah, dude, you know those party favors you blow and then they unwind? And, yeah, those are what my nose hairs are like a party favor. Everyone's always going on about the reptilians, just completely misses the Nordics. Yeah, you're right, Fed. You're right, Fed. I was talking to somebody the other day about the Vril maidens and like the Vrils, the Thule Society and such, all those World War II secret societies, you know. Emerald Eagle 777. It's been a while. Hello, blessings, MM family again. Hello there, Emerald Eagle. Welcome back. How do you do? I'll tell you what, I got to get some. I saw my buddies the other day, right? So I've hung out with the same handful of dudes for about 30 years now. We've been friends a long time. And they're going to meet up in this bar over in Philly. It wasn't too far away. They were going over in like the afternoon. It was like 2 in the afternoon or some shit. And I figured why not? Let me go and have a few beers. I didn't have to drive. I called a ride and figured I'd make my way back home or somehow. Well, I'd be fine. So we went up there around 2:00 and I guess they invited a lot of people, but only the core group of us showed up. They were like, me and the boys, like me and the 3 dudes who actually I was in a band with for many years. And we throw back a few brewskis. And then I didn't realize that the Eagles game was on because it was a Saturday. I didn't realize the Eagles game was on a Saturday that week. So then the bar gets packed and the Birds game is on, and we're drinking beers, and I had a cheesesteak, and then I was finally like, it's 9:00, I go home. But so long story short, when we were younger, 20s, 30s, anytime one of my buddies would get even the slightest bit chubby, I would ride him like one of those mine cart things that you see in an old cartoon, a pump cart, where 2 guys are pumping the thing down the railroad track. I'd ride them like that. I'd be like, fatty this is fatty that, rub a dub dub, too fat for the tub. Like I was a real jerk about it. And they got me back the other day. They got me back because I waddled in there, meat sweats, under boobs all moist, and they just rode it, man. They just rode it right in the sunset. Rode it right in the sunset, dude. Oh yeah, like I was the guy that ate the dude I used to be. Like I was like Captain Cake. I was like it was ruthless. So in about 2 hours of that shit, I was like, dude, maybe I need to cut out all the soda pop. So I'm just drinking one now in the air, but I'm limiting myself to one a day rather than chugging down a 2 liter and getting diabetes in my blood. Yeah. Fun stuff. All right, where are we at? I don't even know how long I've been ranting and raving and rattling on here. So listen, yeah, I know. Listen, I look, forgive the clickbait bullshit title. I don't know why that came to me. I was making a damn thumbnail, and I'm like, you know what? I'm no effing wizard. You know what I mean, right? So I thought, that's kind of funny. Like, coming here all hot, claiming how I didn't do no soothsaying. I ain't casting no sorceries. So I appreciate it. Thanks for not freaking out and bailing out on me. Yeah, those were the quote unquote anonymous unfounded allegations that I was a wizard of some type, some kind of occult practitioner. But again, that's not me. I'm fascinated with it, but again, that's not me. So yeah. So there we are. We're about 45 minutes in here. I generally would go for an hour when I do one of these. So we can stick around a little bit more, I guess. Not much though. I'm starting to drag a little bit. So I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. and tell you how I got all this gray in my hair. you know. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure we all got that Discord link. We will meet over in the Discord, and I'll give you a link to a StreamYards. We'll come over here. I mean, I could give you a StreamYards link right away, but then I can't manage who's coming in and out, and there's only so many spots. So, yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. Anything? Oh, Dana, you had me going. Yeah, I was like, I mean, what the hell would I do, man? I'm a hocus pocus kind of guy. You know what I mean? Worst thing I got going on is my freaking science experiment over here. You know, well, this guy. Get a case of the giggles. Get a case of the giggles. Roughing up the suspect. Squeeze out a confession. I got too close. I'm too close, man. I'm too close. Too close. Yo, I was thinking about so I live in a legal state where you smoke the reefers, right? And I would love to do this. If anybody wants to invest in this and join me in this endeavor, please reach out to me on my socials. So here's my idea. I'm gonna get a hot dog cart. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of pre-rolled cannabis cigarettes. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna charge you $20 for my hot dog, but you get a free pre-roll. This is a deal of a lifetime, dude. It's a deal of a lifetime. I call it the Dizzy Glizzy. Ginger, I was thinking about a group. You sent me the green grimoire, right? Is that the one you sent me? The one with all the herbs and such, right? Because I got a couple of those grimoires, but I think you sent me the nature magic one. Yep. Yeah, I thought so. Because I saw that the other day. You know what? I was actually I getting together some books. Like I got some books on gardening and canning. Some books on like basic survival skills and stuff like that, knots and traps and things like that. For small critters if you want to eat a squirrel, those kind of things. And while I was fishing these books out, I was like, oh, there's that green grimoire that I knew you were one who sent it to me. I had such a strong feeling, such a strong inclination to believe that it was you. But yes, it's fascinating one. It's fascinating work too. And it's good stuff to know. I mean, if you live in a world where you don't have access to all the advancements in medicine that we currently have, I mean, you have to resort to root cutting and plant, extracts and such like that, I guess. What else could you do? What else could you do? I don't know. I don't tell you. All right. So, listen, if you are new here, I do appreciate you tuning in. Sorry for the old bait and switch with the extreme sensational headline. That's not really what I trade in for the most part. But I wasn't going to be like, saying goodbye and then like 220-25, one of those things. I don't want to pull that nonsense because that's just cheap. That's just cheap out. All right. Ginger says that bushcraft is goated. Your level of situational preparedness could save your life. I agree. I think people as a whole used to have a lot of skills that they've kind of bred out of us over the generations. Some very rapidly. It's like I don't know how to make my own clothes. You know what I mean? I'd have to be taught how to rotate the crops. Like, these are things that people used to just know how to do. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Just I'd like to go get a little caffeine in me, maybe rip a lucky strike. And I meet back in the Discord to do a little brainstorming regarding decorations. All right. Sound good? Cool. All right. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. And that's kind of a, honky tonk, but I do appreciate you guys. Thank you to Team Tomaszewski. Help me pull off this little shit show. Yeah, I always brainstorm with Tina. I give her a hard time, but she listens to me rant and rave, so I appreciate her. You know, and thank all of you. I appreciate you guys for being here tonight. I know it's been a long time. I am not going to be streaming regularly going forward. The issue that I've had with it is that if I don't do it for 4 months and then I start doing it again, plenty of people show up to the first one, and it just diminishes like that, you know, down the line. I don't think that what I do, people are very interested in seeing live. So maybe I'll do going forward one like members only stream, because I want to give you bang for your buck for becoming a member. But at the same time, I think there's you know, some things that are probably better technology than what we're currently, you know, messing with, at least in that area. Anyway, what are we talking about? I don't know. I'm all over the place. For some reason, I'm thinking about hair products. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. Little delirium coming my way. Anywho, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Tina Timaszewski. Thank you, Ginger, for the super chat. I do appreciate it, my man. All right. Oh, hides in the long grass. I don't know if you're here. If you're here this after the fact, I'll get in touch with you. I saw you try to get in contact with me the other day, but I didn't have my push notifications on, so it never even rang. So yeah. Anywho, have a great night, everybody. I want to thank you so much for being here. And you know, we'll see you. We'll see you next time, right? So where's the thing I gotta hit to do to wrap this all up? Okay, here we go. Yeah. We'll be in touch. I got some book recommendations. We'll all get into all that good stuff. Have a great night, everybody. This has been Dark Sayings. I'm Pete. Until next time, see you in the shadows.